Welcome to the deep dive. Consider this. Almost 7 out of 10 companies, yeah, a full 68%, don't actually measure how well their sales funnel is performing.
Wow, that's high.
It is.
Yeah.
And even more surprisingly, a whopping 79% struggle to convert the leads their marketing teams work so hard to generate into, actual paying customers.
hmm
So if you've ever wondered where potential clients disappear to between showing interest and signing on the dotted line, you're definitely in good company.
And that's the exact puzzle we're tackling today for you. Look, you've provided us with this really comprehensive article, How to Create a SaaS Sales Funnel That Converts, dated March 19th, 2025.
Right.
It's basically a step-by-step guide to building a B2B SaaS sales engine that actually, well, drives revenue. Think of our conversation today as the ultimate shortcut.
Okay.
We're extracting the critical insights so you can get ahead of the curve, without feeling totally bogged down in all the details.
Precisely. Our deep dive today is all about demystifying that B2B SaaS sales funnel. We're going to break down its core components, explore why it's absolutely essential for SaaS businesses, and discuss practical strategies for building and refining one.
Sounds good.
Okay, so to get us started, when we talk about a B2B SaaS sales funnel, what are the fundamental stages involved? Like, what's the basic structure?
Okay, so the article outlines 4 key stages. At the very top, we have leads. This is often called the top of the funnel, or TOFU.
TOFU, right?
Yeah. This initial stage is really about broad reach, making contact with a wide spectrum of potential customers. The primary objective here isn't immediate sales.
Right, not yet.
Not yet, no. It's more about introducing your brand and establishing that your SaaS offering provides continuous support and enduring value, something that extends beyond just the software itself. It's about initiating awareness and cultivating the groundwork for hopefully lasting client relationships. One often overlooked aspect here is the importance of consistently reinforcing the value beyond just features like what tangible benefits will the customer actually see.
Right, so it's not just saying, here's our cool product, but here's how we can actually solve your specific problems and be a long-term partner for you. Makes sense. What happens after those initial leads are generated?
Well, then we move into lead assessment. This is a really critical stage where you figure out which of those initial leads show genuine potential.
Okay, sorting them out.
Exactly. Do they show real interest in your specific SaaS solution? Do they likely have the necessary budget? And crucially, do they have the authority within their company to actually make purchasing decisions?
That last one's key, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. This stage is vital because truly qualified leads are invaluable. Investing significant time and, frankly, resources on leads that aren't a good fit is just a drain on efficiency. It does raise an interesting question, though. How do you balance casting that wide net initially with efficiently filtering for quality early on?
That's a great point. Yeah, you don't want to prematurely disqualify someone who can maybe be a good fit down the line, perhaps with a bit more nurturing. So, okay, once you've identified those serious prospects, what's the next step?
Next up is purchase intent. This is situated in the middle of the funnel, or MOFU.
MOFU.
Got it. Right. Here, the leads are actively engaged. They're learning more about your SaaS offering, and they're seriously considering moving forward with an agreement. This is a pivotal point where your sales team really needs to proactively build stronger connections and ensure incredibly prompt responses to any questions or inquiries.
So speed matters here.
Definitely. Think of this stage as demonstrating your commitment and expertise. You've captured their attention. Now you need to solidify their confidence. One tactic that's often underutilized is providing highly tailored information based on the specific needs they've expressed.
Okay, we're getting closer.
Yeah.
Closer to that final decision. What constitutes the last stage then?
The final stage is outcome. This is the bottom of the funnel, or BOFU.
DOFU.
Okay, this is where the decision gets made. And the deal either closes successfully or, let's be realistic, sometimes it doesn't.
Sure.
However, even a successful closure isn't really the end of the journey in SaaS. It actually marks the beginning of the customer lifecycle. The primary goal extends beyond just that initial purchase. It's about establishing a foundation for ongoing collaboration, aiming for contract renewals, and ultimately fostering long-term customer loyalty. Creating an exceptional initial experience is absolutely paramount for setting the stage for this continued partnership.
So this sequence, leads, lead assessment, purchase intent, and outcome. Why is this particular framework so crucial specifically for software as a service businesses? What makes it tick for SaaS?
Well, what's fascinating here, I think, is the inherent interconnectedness of marketing and sales within this model, especially for SaaS. Marketing efforts are primarily responsible for attracting those initial potential customers, generating awareness.
The top of funnel stuff.
Exactly, the 2FU part. Then the sales team takes those qualified leads and guides them through the remaining stages towards conversion. The article highlights a really compelling statistic here. Companies that actively engage in lead nurturing see a significant boost, 50% more sales at a 33% lower cost.
Wow. Okay, 50% more sales, 33% lower costs. Those are the kind of numbers that definitely make you sit up and pay attention. But beyond the numbers, why does the funnel approach itself work so well for SaaS?
Well, a well-designed funnel allows you to engage with potential customers precisely where they are in their decision-making process. You're providing the right information at the right time to guide them toward becoming satisfied long-term users. Furthermore, by meticulously analyzing the funnel's performance, looking at the data, you gain these incredibly valuable insights into where potential customers might be dropping off.
The leaks in the funnel.
Exactly. And what the optimal timing for follow-up is, and ultimately what aspects of your strategy are proving effective and which ones, well, need refinement. This data-driven approach facilitates a scalable sales process, enhances the accuracy of your revenue forecasts, and naturally improves your overall conversion rates. It's like a feedback loop for continuous improvement.
So it's not just a straight line, it's also a system for learning and adapting as you go. Now, the article makes a really interesting point about the priority of building a marketing funnel before significantly investing in a sales team. What's the reasoning behind that? Seems a bit counterintuitive, maybe.
Yeah, it might seem that way at first, but if we connect this to the fundamental nature of SaaS, it's really about ensuring your sales team is set up for success. You need a consistent flow of qualified prospects for them to work with.
Right. Feed the machine.
Precisely. In today's digital landscape, a stellar product and, a polished website are just the starting points. Your website needs to be readily discoverable by potential customers who are actively searching for solutions like yours, usually through search engines. And maybe more importantly, it needs to be optimized to actually convert that valuable website traffic into tangible marketing qualified leads, or MQLs. Consider this. Even prospects your outbound sales team proactively engages will almost invariably visit your website to check you out, validate your claims.
That's a really good reminder. Your website isn't just some static brochure online. It's an active part of the sales process itself.
Exactly. The article emphasizes the critical need to create compelling user-first content.
User-first content, okay.
This means focusing your content strategy on the specific problems your potential users are actively trying to solve, rather than just, banging on about your product's features.
Right. Solve their problem. Don't just sell your stuff.
That's it. Your SaaS marketing funnel, particularly if you're using an inbound sales strategy, relies heavily on delivering high-quality content that directly addresses the needs and questions of the buyer at each distinct stage of their journey. Additionally, don't underestimate the power of sharing your brand's narrative and showcasing compelling stories of user success. By positioning your early adopters as the heroes of the story, you build a much stronger emotional connection with potential customers.
I really like that shift in perspective, making the customer the hero, not your product. Okay, so the article then transitions into a more detailed look at the sales funnel stages. It draws on the classic ADA framework, but adapts it for SaaS, using HubSpot's approach. Can you walk us through those refined stages?
Certainly. Yeah, the classic ADA model: awareness, interest, desire, action. It provides a solid understanding of the psychological steps a potential customer often goes through. HubSpot has adapted this for the SaaS environment into awareness, engagement, exploration, and conversion. They rightly point out that in the context of SaaS, exploration often more accurately reflects the buyer's active investigation into whether a product truly aligns with their specific needs, rather than just a passive desire.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's start at the beginning then, with awareness. What defines this initial stage? What's happening here?
Okay, this is the very top of your funnel. At this point, potential clients are just becoming aware that your company and its offerings even exist. They might stumble across your content through a blog post, maybe see your brand mentioned in an industry publication, or discover you through relevant search engine results.
Just getting on the map.
Exactly. The primary goals here are to initially capture their interest, begin building a foundation of trust, however small, and provide some introductory education about the problems you solve. Importantly, at this stage, they might not even fully recognize the extent of their own problem or be actively seeking a specific solution just yet.
Right, they might not even know they need you yet. So how do you effectively expand that initial brand awareness? What are the tactics?
Well, the article suggests several practical approaches, things like strategically using paid advertisements to promote valuable, informative content, not just ads saying buy now.
Right, value-based ads.
Yes. Actively engaging in public relations efforts to secure mentions in relevant media outlets. And of course, diligently optimizing your website for SaaS-specific SEO to attract more organic traffic from users actively searching for solutions you provide.
Hmm.
It's all about establishing that initial visibility, making sure you show up where they're looking.
That makes sense. You need to be discoverable.
Hmm.
Okay, moving on to the next stage. Engagement. What characterizes this phase? How is it different from just awareness?
Engagement happens when those initial leads start to demonstrate a more active level of interest. They're not just passively aware anymore. They might revisit your website multiple times, maybe proactively subscribe to your newsletter, or download some valuable free resources you offer, like an ebook or a checklist.
Okay, so they're raising their hand, basically.
Kind of, yeah. These actions signal genuine interest, and it presents a prime opportunity to capture their contact information if you haven't already and continue providing them with relevant education. Interestingly, the article notes that this stage can often be the most protracted, the longest stage.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Because building trust and thoroughly evaluating whether your product truly addresses their specific needs, well, it just takes time. It's not an overnight decision, usually.
So it's a more sustained nurturing process during engagement.
Exactly. And the article emphasizes the importance of closely monitoring how leads interact with your content. For instance, if a lead consistently opens multiple emails from you or clicks through links,
That's a good sign.
that's a strong indicator of increasing interest, right?
Hmm.
At this point, you should tailor your communication to directly address the specific pain points that your SaaS product is designed to solve. Share relevant tutorial articles. Illustrate your product's capabilities through practical examples, maybe short videos, and begin guiding them towards your product pages so they can explore the features and functionalities in more detail.
Okay, so they're engaged, they're learning more.
Right.
What comes next in this HubSpot model? Exploration, you said.
Yes, exploration. This is the stage where you really start to showcase the tangible benefits and the inherent value that your product delivers to those now engaged leads. It's time to nurture them further with things like compelling case studies. Exactly. Real-world impact. Insightful comparisons that highlight how you're different or better than alternatives. Authentic user testimonials build social proof. Positive reviews from credible sources, captivating success stories that resonate emotionally, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Offering a free trial is also an exceptionally powerful tool at this stage. It allows potential customers to actually experience the value firsthand, which is huge for SaaS.
Wow. Trying before buying.
Right. And if you operate on a freemium model, clearly articulating the limitations of the free plan can effectively encourage upgrades to your paid tiers. Importantly, some leads who are highly interested may proactively reach out to your sales team during this phase to request a personalized quote or seek more specific information. So ensuring your sales team is well prepared and super responsive is absolutely critical here.
Got it. So exploration is all about demonstrating value through concrete examples, social proof, and offering that hands-on experience. Following exploration is conversion, which sounds like the moment of truth.
It is. It's the crucial point of sale. But the article makes a really vital distinction, especially for SaaS. While acquiring new customers is obviously essential, the ongoing retention of those customers is paramount for sustained recurring monthly revenue.
The MRR.
Exactly, the lifeblood. Therefore, the strategies for acquisition and retention should really be considered together, not in separate silos.
Interesting. So how do you do that?
Well, the article suggests implementing proactive retention strategies, things like conducting regular satisfaction surveys to gauge customer sentiment, offering beta testing opportunities to your most active users to foster a sense of co-creation and ownership.
Make them feel involved.
Yes. Providing exclusive content through targeted newsletters, maybe offering personalized promotions to reward loyalty. Prioritizing customer satisfaction and really nurturing that long-term loyalty are key differentiators for sustainable success in the SaaS landscape. It's not just about the initial sale.
That makes perfect sense. You want to build a loyal customer base, not just have a leaky bucket constantly churning through users. Now, the article even goes a step further, adding a stage beyond conversion, customers' loyalty. What's that about?
Yeah, this represents the dream outcome for any SaaS business, right?
The Holy Grail.
Pretty much. It's about cultivating those satisfied customers who become enthusiastic advocates for your brand, actively recommending you to their networks, their colleagues, their friends. In today's digitally connected world, positive mentions and authentic reviews serve as incredibly powerful social currency.
Hmm.
Therefore, consciously incorporating strategies to encourage customer referrals into your overall sales and marketing efforts is highly beneficial for organic growth. It's like free marketing almost.
Turning happy customers into your best salespeople, that's incredibly valuable. Okay, so we have a solid understanding of the stages now, both the four core ones and HubSpot's adaptation. But how do you actually go about building your own specific SaaS sales funnel? Where do you start?
Well, the article emphasizes that your unique B2B SaaS sales strategy is really going to heavily influence the specific structure and flow of your funnel. Like, are you primarily focused on direct sales to end users, or do you maybe leverage partnerships and reseller networks?
Hmm.
Which marketing and sales channels are you prioritizing? Are you heavy on content, or maybe paid ads, or outbound? These strategic decisions will shape the specific configuration of your funnel. However, there are several fundamental building blocks that apply pretty much across the board.
Such as, what are those building blocks?
Okay, the first crucial step is to define your ideal customer profile, or ICP.
ICP.
Think of it as the sales-focused extension of your marketing persona. While a marketing persona might outline general characteristics, the ICP delves into the specific attributes, the company size, the industry, the roles, the pain points that make a prospect an ideal fit for your specific SaaS solution. This gives your sales team deeper insights for more effective engagement.
Okay, so having a crystal clear picture of who your absolute best customer is. What's the next essential element after defining the ICP?
Next, you need to strategically develop your sales communication. And this goes beyond just listing your product's features and functionalities. That's table stakes.
Mhm.
You need to gain a deep understanding of the core business or maybe even personal problems that your SaaS product effectively solves. The most successful SaaS solutions offer tangible, practical answers to real-world challenges. Once you have this understanding, you can craft compelling messaging that truly resonates with your potential customers, clearly articulating exactly how your solution will help them, say, save time, reduce costs, generate more revenue, or ultimately just make their professional lives easier.
Focusing on the direct benefits and outcomes for the customer, not just what your software does. Okay, so after you know who you're targeting and what to say to them, how do you actually go about finding these prospects, getting them into the funnel?
This leads us to the crucial aspect of prospect acquisition campaigns. The article outlines two primary methodologies here. First is organic lead generation, which is basically an inbound approach. Prospects proactively reach out to you.
They come to you.
Exactly. This is typically driven by valuable content marketing, good SEO optimization, targeted ad campaigns that lead to content, engaging webinars, effective referral programs, user-friendly website forms, things like that.
Okay, and the second approach.
The second is traditional lead generation, which is more outbound. This is where your sales team proactively initiates contact with potential customers. Think methods like phone calls, targeted emails, maybe even direct mail in some cases, participation in industry events, and account-based marketing, or ABM, strategies. This outbound approach usually requires a dedicated sales team focused specifically on outreach.
Right, the hunters versus the farmers, sort of.
Yeah.
And does the article suggest whether one of these approaches is generally more effective for SaaS companies, inbound versus outbound?
It suggests that actually the most successful SaaS companies often employ a combination of both inbound and outbound strategies.
A mix.
Yeah, a mix. However, the emphasis tends to lean towards one approach based on their specific target market and overall business model. For example, for SaaS offerings with maybe lower price points targeting small and medium-sized businesses or SMBs, a more marketing-centric inbound strategy is often favored. It's more scalable that way. Conversely, companies offering higher value, more complex solutions aimed at larger enterprise clients often find a more sales-centric approach, leveraging outbound tactics like account-based marketing to be more effective in reaching their specific target audience. It's more targeted.
Okay, that makes sense. Tailoring the approach to the market and the product complexity. So once you've established your funnel, it's not like you just set it and forget it, right? How do you go about actively optimizing it for better performance, making it work harder?
Absolutely not. Continuous optimization is totally key. Starting with the very top of the funnel, the TOFU, the initial goal is to significantly increase awareness and effectively capture that initial interest. The article provides a really compelling example of Adobe's Creative Cloud. They used a targeted Facebook video showcasing the impressive applications of their 3D art tools, specifically in automotive design. And crucially, it had a clear call to action linking to further on-demand content.
Smart. Very targeted.
Exactly. Other effective tactics include creating valuable how-to guides and tutorials, implementing engaging multi-channel social media campaigns, basically anything designed to spark curiosity and drive that initial engagement.
So it's about making that strong first impression and offering immediate value right from the get-go. What about the content itself? How do you actively improve content performance throughout the rest of the funnel?
Yeah, good question. The article highlights the importance of strategically using a variety of communication channels to reach your target audience where they are. Consistently establishing your brand as a trusted authority within your specific industry niche is also key.
Building that credibility.
Right. And delivering highly targeted content that resonates with the specific needs and pain points of different audience segments within your funnel. You can't just use generic content for everyone. The overarching goal of SaaS content marketing really is to cultivate a deeper connection with your potential customers and clearly articulate what truly differentiates your solution from the competition. Why you?
And how do you make sure you're focusing your efforts on the most promising prospects?
Yeah.
How do you effectively identify high-value prospects within that funnel flow?
This involves gaining a really clear understanding of how your most successful customers, your existing best customers, initially discovered information about your company and its offerings. Was it search? Was it a referral? Was it an event?
Reverse engineering success.
Sort of, yeah. Crafting value propositions that specifically address the needs and challenges of different customer segments is crucial. The article also underscores the often overlooked importance of professional website design, ongoing website management, and continuous website optimization. These things are key in creating a positive first impression and guiding those high-value prospects smoothly through your digital experience. Don't neglect the website.
Right. Your online storefront is a critical touch point. Now, we touched on this earlier, but the article revisits the concept of lead qualification during the optimization phase. Why is it so crucial to emphasize this again here?
Because, and this is pretty stark, as the article pointedly notes, on average, a surprisingly small percentage of initial B2B inquiries, only about 27% are thoroughly assessed and qualified before being passed along to the sales team.
Only 27%?
Yeah. This means that a significant amount of valuable sales time and resources can be inadvertently wasted on pursuing leads that simply aren't a good fit or aren't ready for your SaaS offering. Therefore, dedicating the necessary time and effort to rigorously qualify leads, ensuring they demonstrate genuine intent and have the actual authority to make a purchase, is absolutely paramount for maximizing your sales efficiency and your overall conversion rates. Don't skip this step.
Absolutely. You want your expensive sales team focused on the opportunities with the highest potential, not chasing ghosts. So what happens once you've identified those truly qualified leads? How do you effectively enhance lead nurturing for them?
Right, so now you've got qualified leads. This stage is all about actively engaging with those potential customers and consistently providing them with the relevant information and support they need throughout their decision-making process. Investing in robust lead nurturing strategies, maybe marketing automation plays a role here, and implementing effective B2B SaaS lead generation techniques are crucial for significantly increasing your chances of successfully closing the deal. It's really about building strong relationships, fostering trust, and ensuring they feel well-informed and supported every step of the way. Don't just leave them hanging.
And what's the strategy for effectively leveraging that crucial middle part of the funnel, the MOFU, the middle?
Good question. The MOFU is where you really move beyond basic nurturing and actively focus on deepening the conversion process. Specifically for SaaS, this often involves working very closely with your B2B prospects to gain a thorough understanding of their unique business needs and challenges.
Getting specific.
Very specific. And then developing tailored solutions, maybe showing them how your product fits their workflow that directly align with their specific budgets and overarching business objectives. The key here is to pinpoint their most pressing pain points and offer clear, effective remedies through your SaaS solution. Show them exactly how you solve their problem.
Okay, so you've nurtured them, you've really understood their specific needs. Now comes the point where you need to seal the deal and foster loyalty. What are the critical elements at this final stage?
Okay, closing time. This involves presenting clearly articulated contracts and well-defined service level agreements, or SLAs, no surprises.
Hmm.
Negotiating the contract terms, perhaps offering flexible options like maybe a short free trial period, even after signing, or accommodating cancellation policies, can also play a significant role in getting them over the line.
Reducing the risk for them.
Exactly. However, regardless of the specifics of the initial agreement, the true key to long-term success, as we said, lies in consistently exceeding your customers' expectations and delivering exceptional ongoing value that keeps them coming back, keeps them renewing.
Right.
The article also highlights a really valuable practice: conducting thorough debriefing sessions on unsuccessful deals. Learn from your losses. Why didn't it close? This helps identify areas for improvement in your sales process or maybe even your product.
That's a really insightful point. Even lost deals can provide valuable learning opportunities.
Mhm.
Okay, finally, in terms of optimization, the article discusses the importance of assessing performance. What kind of results should you realistically expect to see after effectively optimizing your sales funnel? Is there a benchmark?
Well, the article suggests that after a focused optimization effort, you might expect to see around 20% of your initial qualified leads ultimately convert into paying customers.
Mhm.
But
Right.
But it strongly emphasizes the importance of consistently tracking both your current and historical success rates as your benchmarks. Compare yourself to yourself. If your results are not meeting your desired targets, whatever they may be, that serves as a clear signal to reanalyze your current strategy and implement further adjustments as needed. It's not a fixed number.
So it's an ongoing, iterative process of building, measuring, refining, and constantly evaluating performance based on your own data.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, how do you actually determine if your SaaS sales funnel is performing effectively? What are the key metrics you should be consistently monitoring? KPIs.
Right, the KPIs. The article highlights several critical key performance indicators. The first, and perhaps the most fundamental, is revenue and business growth.
The bottom line, pretty much. This is ultimately the primary measure of your company's long-term viability and success. The article even provides a practical formula for calculating your percentage revenue growth rate over specific periods, like month over month or year over year. It's important to keep in mind, though, that this growth rate will naturally vary depending on your company's stage startup versus established player.
That makes sense. A young startup's growth trajectory will likely look very different from that of a more mature organization. What other metrics are crucial to track for funnel health?
Churn rate is another absolutely vital metric for any SaaS business. You have to watch churn.
Definitely.
This represents the percentage of your users who discontinue using your product within a defined time frame, usually measured monthly or annually. The article provides a straightforward calculation for churn rate number of churned users divided by total users. It mentions an average annual benchmark range of maybe 5–7%, but again, it stresses that this can vary significantly across different industries and types of SaaS offerings. Maintaining a low churn rate is absolutely essential for sustainable growth.
Absolutely. Retaining your existing customers is almost always more cost-effective than constantly having to acquire new ones to replace the ones leaving. What about understanding the long-term value of your customers?
That's where customer lifetime value, LTV, comes into play. This metric provides an estimate, and it is an estimate of the total financial value that a customer will generate for your business over the entire duration of their relationship with you.
Okay?
To calculate LTV, you'll typically need to first figure out your average revenue per account, or ARPA. Then the article provides a common formula for estimating LTV, often involving ARPA divided by the churn rate. This helps you understand the long-term revenue potential locked within your customer base.
Okay, so the total value a customer brings over their entire lifetime with you. What about the other side of the coin, the cost associated with acquiring those customers in the first place?
Good point. That brings us to customer acquisition cost. This metric tells you, on average, how much you are spending in sales and marketing efforts, salaries, ad spend, tools, everything, to successfully convert one lead into one paying customer.
How much it costs to get a customer?
Exactly. Again, the article provides a clear formula: total sales and marketing spend divided by the number of new customers acquired in that period. Comparing your LTV to your FAC, the LTV.CAC ratio, is a fundamental way to assess the overall profitability and long-term sustainability of your sales and marketing investments. Are you spending more to get a customer than they're worth? Hopefully not.
Right. That ratio is key.
Yeah. These key metrics, revenue growth, churn, LTV, CAC, when analyzed together, provide a really insightful overview of your funnel's overall health and efficiency. They tell the story.
Definitely. Attracting the right customers, converting them efficiently, keeping them satisfied, and ensuring it's all financially viable. Those really seem like the key pillars. Now, the article also delves into the often debated topic of pricing your SaaS contracts. What are some of the core recommendations there? Pricing can be tricky.
It really can be. The article strongly advises against being secretive or, apologetic about your pricing.
Don't hide it.
Don't hide it. It argues that you should have confidence in your pricing structure and the inherent value your SaaS solution provides. It points out, quite rightly, I think, that customers rarely just opt for the absolute cheapest option available. They look for value. And the frustrating experience of encountering a price on application or contact us for pricing scenario, well, it can often lead potential customers to just click away and explore alternative solutions from competitors who are more transparent.
Yeah, that can be annoying as a buyer.
Totally. Displaying your pricing openly can actually serve as an effective filter, helping to weed out unqualified prospects, those who could never afford it early in the process, saving your sales team valuable time and resources.
That's an interesting perspective. Transparency, building trust, and saving time. What other pricing insights does the article offer?
It highlights that your pricing strategy isn't or shouldn't be set in stone. It will likely evolve as your product matures, as you add features, and as market conditions change. It cautions against setting your prices too high, particularly for short-term contracts or initial trial periods. Why? Because potential customers may not have enough time to fully experience the value proposition, to see the real benefits, before their trial ends or their short contract is up.
Give them time to get hooked.
Basically, yes. The article suggests strategically incentivizing prospects during their trial period, maybe by rewarding them for actively engaging with key features, like completing your profile or using a core function X number of times, or perhaps offering extended free access in exchange for valuable feedback. These things can make your product stickier and ultimately improve conversion rates to paid plans once the trial is over.
That makes a lot of sense, giving them a real taste of the long-term value and encouraging usage. Any final thoughts from the article regarding SaaS pricing strategies or the closing process?
Yes, one final point on closing. When a prospect is ready to make a purchase decision, it's crucial to streamline those final steps. Make it easy for them to say yes.
Reduce friction.
Exactly. The article recommends accelerating the contract signing process through the use of digital signature platforms like DocuSign or similar tools. It advises against relying on cumbersome email exchanges, printing, scanning, or shared document links that can get lost or delayed.
Yeah, keep the momentum going.
Right. Instead, they suggest scheduling a brief call, maybe just 15 minutes, to walk the prospect through the contract terms, answer any last-minute questions, and then have them sign electronically during the call. This approach offers better control over the process and ensures a much smoother transition from prospect to paying customer. Close the loop quickly.
Great. Those are some really practical, actionable tips for optimizing the pricing and contract process. Okay, now to bring all these concepts together visually maybe, the article provides some concrete SaaS sales funnel examples with a focus on digital funnels. Can you briefly outline those typical stages in a digital customer journey? What might that look like online?
Sure. These examples illustrate the common touchpoints a potential customer might encounter in a typical digital sales process, especially one driven by ads or content. It often begins with a dedicated lead magnet landing page.
Okay, the first stop.
Right. This serves as the initial point of contact after someone clicks on an ad or a link in your content. It's designed to immediately capture their attention and, crucially, gather their contact information, like an email address, in exchange for a valuable resource, the lead magnet. Yeah.
Free ebook, webinar access, template.
Exactly. Next usually comes a confirmation page. This just confirms that they have successfully requested the free offer, signed up for the trial, or maybe even completed an initial small purchase. It might also tell them what to expect next, like check your email.
Okay.
Then sometimes you might see an upsell page. This presents an opportunity right after the initial conversion to explore additional related services or perhaps upgrade to a more comprehensive plan or add-on feature. It's trying to increase the initial transaction value.
Capitalizing on the buying momentum.
Precisely. Then, of course, there's the checkout page. This is where the actual transaction is finalized if a purchase is involved. And the article emphasizes, again, the critical importance of ensuring a smooth, secure, and user-friendly experience at this stage to minimize cart abandonment, make it easy to pay.
Absolutely crucial.
And finally, a congrats or thank you page. This acknowledges the completion of the action, whether it was downloading the lead magnet, starting a trial, or making a purchase. It can also provide guidance on next steps like log in here or watch this onboarding video to further engage the new lead or customer.
So a logical and progressive flow through those key digital interactions, guiding the users step by step.
Mm. Okay, to bring our deep dive to a close then, what would you say are the absolute key takeaways from our discussion today on building a high-converting SaaS sales funnel? What should people really remember?
I think the fundamental message really is that a well-defined and consistently optimized sales funnel is absolutely indispensable for driving customer conversions and maximizing revenue growth in the, let's face it, competitive SaaS landscape. It's not optional.
Not really, no. The examples we've discussed provide valuable starting points, but it's essential to remember that you need to tailor your specific funnel to align with your unique sales process, your target audience, and your overall business objectives. One size does not fit all.
Right.
A deep understanding of the core stages from initial lead generation and ongoing nurturing all the way through to strategic content optimization is vital for effectively guiding your prospects through their buyer's journey. And please don't forget the significant impact of offering compelling incentives and ensuring a seamless onboarding experience for fostering that crucial long-term customer satisfaction and loyalty.
Yeah, retention again.
Always retention in sauce. Finally, it's just crucial to recognize that your sales funnel is not a static entity. You don't build it once and walk away. It's a dynamic process that demands regular analysis, data-driven adjustments, and continuous optimization based on performance metrics, and, importantly, valuable customer feedback. Listen to your data and your customers.
Fantastic. This has been an incredibly insightful exploration into the world of B2B SaaS sales funnels. Really useful stuff. So considering the critical balance we discussed between effectively attracting new customers and nurturing their long-term loyalty in a SaaS model, here's a final thought for our listeners. What is one specific aspect of your current or maybe your aspirational customer journey that you are most motivated to delve into further based on our deep dive today? Certainly given me a lot to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.